Uh, tell me if my audio sounds good on Twitch.
Okay.
Just tell me when to talk.
There you talk.
Hello, hello, hello.
I'm a bit soft. I don't know if it changed with Skype or not, but I was soft.
All right. How about now?
Check.
Check, 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 check.
Nope.
Too soft?
Yeah.
Is that better?
What?
Check, 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 check.
That's still soft. Well, you can turn up, Skype during the view, so I won't really see a problem.
All right, we'll do. Hello, hello, hello. Okay.
You wanna lock this room?
Yes, please.
Your channel was edited.
Alright, have fun.
Thanks.
User left your channel.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? Alright. I'm just wondering, is my mic fine right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're all good.
Alright, that's good. Alright. Hello, my name's Music. I'm doing another interview with Axslav. Hello, Axslav.
Hey, nice to be on the interview.
How's your day going so far?
That's good. It's just, today was some Infinite Crisis work, some casting work, and then just looking for more, production work for the StarCraft stream for MLG. So, a lot of work, but it's always a fun day.
What kind of production are you looking for in MLG for StarCraft?
So I'm with Alex and I are the producers for the StarCraft 2 stream. So most of our job is, going out there and finding content to put in the show, which means either coming up with show ideas ourselves, reaching out to other tournaments, seeking if they want coverage, talking to people in the scene, and then figuring out, what graphics and what sponsors and advertisements the tournaments want for their shows and things like that. So a lot of just talking to people and and planning out a schedule for the week.
Oh, okay. Do you guys have any good ideas coming up?
I mean, we have got a billion ideas. I don't know which ones, if any, are ever going to be activated or coming to the light. But there's always tons of ideas. I mean, lately we've been doing a lot of just covering, I guess, your Team Story Cup, Home Circuit Cup qualifiers, Red Bull qualifiers, IEM qualifiers, things like that. But we have a lot of ideas for our own content too. But some of that's a little bit harder to, to actually get on the stream.
Oh, okay. How difficult is it for to get a new idea onto the stream?
Well, it's just hard to come up with an idea that basically is going to get a lot of viewers, but also is free. So we do things like we used to do a lot of the community parties where we do arcade games, we do 2v2 stuff like that with the community and do a lot of interaction on the show, and we're going to keep doing those every once in a while. But there's some other ideas we've been tossing back and forth, but it's not easy to always come up with something that's gonna drive viewership. It's gonna make a calendar entry, but also doesn't cost any money to run.
Oh, okay. But like it's so one of your ideas was like how you would always review replays and you would like because I remember I was watching the stream one time and you were going over what he I forgot the two people But you would go over the review. You could have you said your opinion on like what could have went better and etc. Like, is that one of your ideas? Like how you guys go over the stream constantly?
So we used to have or I used to have a show I produced called Rules of Engagement. I wrote that show, and I was a talent for that as well as a producer. And that show was really fun to do, but it's several hours of work for a 1 hour show that wouldn't. I mean, its viewership was decent if it was following something big, but it wasn't quite good enough to keep continue doing unless we already have like a really major viewer drawing event going on beforehand. Like when we had WCS, we just air it after WCS, and it could retain the viewership. That's a show I enjoyed, but coaching and instructional shows are really tricky. A lot of people have tried them, and so far, no one's except for Day Nine has ever really gotten it to be super successful. And that's not that it can't be. I think just people haven't done it right. Like Day Nine takes the approach, oh, we're gonna kind of focus less on the instructional coaching stuff and more just on entertainment, personality, and craziness, right? And that's worked out amazing for him. But for us, or for me, I haven't quite found a way to really make a great show that a ton of people are going to watch based on that type of concept. But it's still something that we're always talking about and thinking about doing again.
But have you thought about how when you guys always run MLG, how about like you comply to your same idea, but then afterwards after the show you do the role of engagement with the replays you guys have that just happen.
Yeah, we've been thinking about that. The issue is wondering, does that get better viewership than a rebroadcast? Could we make that a counter entry or not? It probably could be. And then also, how well can the show be if it's done instantly with no graphics, right? Because when we did Rules of Engagement, there were several hours before that making sure we know what graphics we want to put up and make it more of a higher production value piece, or even like the Day 9 daily, that's all pre-produced stuff as well, right? He goes through the replays and he figures out everything. So doing it right on the spot is probably, if we do go back to that, that's probably what I would end up doing. But you do lose some of the production value and some of the show quality when you do it right on the spot. So it's something I've been thinking about, but the extra time versus just throwing on a rebroadcast, what we just did, where it's high quality games with the commentary right as it was happening, it's hard to tell which has more value.
Okay, so, but I think that if you do that and you advance your idea to doing that, I feel like you would get the viewers that you guys get constantly. You guys get over like around like 30,000 views for MLG SC2, and most of the views are just coming off of League of Legends. So I feel like once you hit those 30,000 views, share like a small amount, probably like 10% would probably leave. But then again, I feel like the League of Legends player, would actually sit there and actually like watch it because they actually want to know what the game is actually about.
So we don't run League of Legends on a StarCraft stream. I'm the producer of the StarCraft stream, so we don't have that 30,000 viewer to come from. If we ever had it, like that's why when I ran Rules of Engagement, it worked well because we aired it right after our WCS, and WCS, would have anywhere between like 10 and 20,000 viewers for just the online portion, even more for the live portion. But in that 10 to 20,000 viewer range, it's great to host up a replay, analytical show right after that, and keep a good chunk of viewers. But the stuff we do now is like the lower budget stuff that it's rare that we're going to get that 10 to 20,000 viewer range. It's most of the stuff is more 2,000-3,000. So that's enough to make it worth it to do a free show, but it's not quite enough to pull up a replay analytical show quite yet.
Okay, that was great. So how's your relationship as friendship wise towards Axel when you guys are live streaming?
That's great. I mean, me and him are actually roommates, so we always I mean, the shows are always great. We've worked with each other for quite a long time now. And then it's also just outside of work. We'll go out, grab food, and then we're always, like we're always discussing esports and StarCraft and what type of things you can make it bigger. All the other people in the scene, what are their ideas that are good? What are some things that can help out? What different, initiatives should we jump on? And a lot of it is, there's so much going on in the scene that no one person can really keep track of 100%. So it's good. It's good that we're good friends because we can help fill each other on and what's going on. I'll be like, hey, have you been following that the Canadian Elite Series tournament and how they've been doing it and things we can do to help them out, or like Louisiana or Ireland, or there's so many little micro kind of tournaments, or local tournaments, I guess is the right word to say, going on that as a producer, we kind of need to be up with all that stuff, but it helps a lot to have two people who are comfortable just sharing all the information with everyone and keeping everyone up to date.
How actually, I've been wondering, how did you actually get into MLG? Because I asked Axel how he got into MLG, and he got through a program.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I've been competing in MLG tournaments since the first StarCraft or since the third StarCraft MLG tournament. I pretty much went to the majority of them, so I kind of knew a lot of the people who worked at MLG from beforehand. And then I qualified for the first Win Arena of 2012, and I played there. And then I did I think I jumped in and casted a game just on the spot when they were looking for someone to fill in. And they kind of like what I did there. So in the second arena, when I was trying to qualify, they're like, hey, even if you don't qualify, we'd love to bring you on as an analyst. And I did that, and they liked my work there. So I continued as an analyst for the next two arenas after that, the spring and the summer one. And then from there, when they were, they just liked the work I did. So when they were looking to bring on people to do full-time work, they're like, hey, we love the work you've done in the past. We get along well with you. Let's are you interested in working full time? So kind of went on from there.
Well, that's really good. I wish I could do that. But if how did you get into casting?
So for me, it was something that I kind of just, when I first started doing the analysis stuff in early 2012. I really enjoyed that, and it's like a combination of, I was a pro gamer for quite a while, and so I have, I love StarCraft. It's like my favorite game. It's pretty much what I do is StarCraft. So it combines my obsession with that, but also like through college, all my jobs are as like a math tutor and teacher and stuff like that. So I also really like to kind of explain things to people and help other people get better. I did a lot of coaching even in StarCraft too. When I was a pro gamer, I did a lot of work coaching people. So to me, I see casting as a way to really just kind of help explain the game to a large audience, which is something I really love.
Would you ever actually say, like, a person was trying to be a caster, do you think you would ever give them helpful tips?
Yeah, actually, that's one thing we've been doing a lot now that we've been working with a lot of, casting out the community events. Is we have a lot of the community casters who've been working really hard and dedicating a ton of time to it, and then we give them opportunities on our stream, and we try to help them out. Obviously, it's it's a matter of, the thing with casting is there's tons of people who are actually very good at it, and there's tons of people who dedicate an insane amount of time to it. But just the nature of the current StarCraft ecosystem, there's there's like 10 to 12, probably 10 full-time casters, in the world right now. So it's just hard. It's hard to make it as a caster. But what always gets me really excited is there's so many people who just they just do it for fun. Like Cham 2 in New York, right? He works, and then after work he just loves to just cast StarCraft, talk about StarCraft as a hobby, right? And same thing with a ton of the people who we bring on for our streams, and they just do it because they love the game, right?
Yeah, like I've been like watching some of my friends. Like, there's a esports in my state, which I live in Florida, and it's in I think it's called TESPA. I don't know, but it's in the University of Florida. So like they have these two casters, and I think they do really good. It's just that like they do it like every Sunday, and like I mean like if they put more time into it, like add on more days, I think their commentating would get better and better. And I love how like they constantly talk about how they love the game of StarCraft and like the differences of like each unit in the tech trees.
Yeah. I mean that's really the big struggle with everyone is I mean even for me for example, I know 100% if I could practice more of my casting I would be a better caster, right? There's so much more room for improvement. But it's a matter of time. Like for them, you said they only do it Sundays, and they probably go to school full time or have a job on the side even. And it's like for me, I do all the producer work, and then there's only so many hours in a day, and that's one of the things about basically about a game like StarCraft. It's so fun that it's a shame there's only so much time to devote to it, right?
If you got the I this is off topic, but like if you had a chance to cast for a WCS, would you take it?
Yeah, of course.
Would you be like really hyped if it like really like energetic and excited that is it like your first time ever casting in WCS or you've casted before?
I casted all the WCS America Premier League Season 1 and all the WCS America Challenger League Season 1, and we casted a bunch of the Challenger League qualifiers as well. So we were the ones who started doing WCS. I also casted a WCS Global Grand Finals of 2012, the one in Shanghai. So, I mean, I've done it before, but it's WCS is the biggest StarCraft event. I mean, that's it, right? It's so for me who loves StarCraft, right? Obviously, if I get anytime I get a chance to participate in the biggest event, I would love to do it. Now, I mean, it's something where it's like, hey, it has to be something I can actually economically do as well. Like they're like, hey, we'd love to have you cast, but you got to find your way across the world, and it's like, well, I can't really afford to travel, so it's something where if I was invited as part of a team or something and supported, of course, I would be super ecstatic to do that. But also, I have responsibilities with MLG as a full time employee, so I'd have to work out kind of what's best
Yeah, like
depending on offer.
multitask.
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends obviously. I mean, WCS can be a full time job or it could be a one off thing, right? It depends on the individual circumstance. But the bottom line is yes, WCS is. I mean, it's the biggest thing out there. It's an absolutely amazing tournament, and I would love to be a part of it.
Now with MLG, have you ever casted actually on stage?
Yes, so I casted. I mean, when I did the 3 times I did as an analyst, that was on stage analyst desk, and then I casted on stage MLG Dallas 2012. The main stage, I casted the main stage in Dallas 2013 and Anaheim 2013. And in WCS, the Global Grand Finals, and in 2012, and when we did WCS America Premier League, it just wasn't quite on stage, but it was live from our offices. We had all the players there for the round of 16 and of course round of 8, round of 4 into finals.
How do you see our StarCraft community going?
Uh, it's there's people. I think people focus sometimes too much on the negative aspects of the community because there's like a couple random people who just do stupid things, right? But I actually really love the community. The StarCraft community is one of the most generous communities out there. Like the amount of just amazing stuff you see people do for free, right? Is just crazy. Like my mind's blanking. That the map that the guy did, that for observers and tournaments and stuff. Game Heart, like the Game Heart stuff. There's a bunch of cool arcade games. I do. Sorry. Okay. But yeah, like I mean, like the Game Heart guy. There's a whole bunch of people who do random like animations. There's these guys who just did this like live acting, StarCraft, like StarCraft cinematic thing. I wish I remember their names off the top of my head, but like, and that was like a 1 year project or something like that. Like the amount of time they put in that was insane. And then like all the charity stuff that goes on, I was part of last year, and I think I'm going to be part of it this year as well. There's for Child's Play every around Christmas time or sometime in December, or earlier December. There's always this big charity event. It was called the End of Liberty last year because it was right when Wings of Liberty or right when Heart of the Swarm was about to come out. And the amount of like people just giving to charity or supporting their favorite players and just the generosity in the scene is always kind of astounding to me. No, we're not. Um, like our the size of the community hasn't gone down. It's kind of like people. I think there's a feeling that we lose the community to League of Legends because it's like we're driving on the freeway going 60, right, and then someone else all of a sudden passes us going 100, and it's like, wow, we're going really slow. Are we slowing down because these guys are going past us? But it's really just they've done an amazing job. Like League of Legends is the stuff they do with the community is insane, and the level they've gone is insane. But it hasn't adversely affected StarCraft at all. At least not. I mean, not that I can tell. Obviously, that's not a statement you can say 100%. But our scene is still doing great. It's just people can't help but compare the two and say, "Oh, League of Legends is a bigger game right now." That doesn't mean StarCraft's not still a big and a great game. And if you look at the average daily views, they're still great. I mean, WCS still gets great views if you just look at it. The amount of views every day is pretty staggering because you realize this stuff runs literally every single day. Yeah. Um, I don't really think it's. I mean, everyone likes to blame Blizzard for whatever perceived wrongdoings, but I mean, I don't think it's like it's not Blizzard's job to increase the community. Their job is to make a great game, right? And as long as Legacy Fold is a great game, I'm happy with what they've done. Uh, it's the community will get big if more and more people are interested in watching competitive StarCraft and participating and talking about StarCraft on forums and participating in talking about players, talking about personalities, talking about their favorite arcade game, their favorite like animated StarCraft video. Uh, I mean, there's more cool stuff that happens in StarCraft, then the community will just naturally grow. And I think, yeah, Blizzard can do that by making cool tournaments like WCS, but really, that's not their primary function. And I mean, I do think Legacy of Void will probably have a boost in interest for a short time at least, but in long run, community growth is all off of people doing stuff that makes other people want to talk about it, right? You mean like a team cup? Yeah, I mean, running a team cup is pretty intensive, and like I think that like a show match would be more what we could do that'd be cool. But I mean, most of our ideas, it's not easy to get a whole bunch of pro players all together, unless you have a decent budget. And it's something that there are ways that if you make it clever and cool and the players get really excited about it, that can work. And we were talking about things like that. But with team leagues, there's already like the Acer Team Story Cup does an amazing job as a team league. The EG's Cup, SC2L, I think that's what it was called. But though I mean, there's a lot of great team leagues out there. Um, and for us, if we want to start making our own content, it's not clear if it's best to do like King of the Hill type events. If we want to do like a local like American mini tournament, a bunch of cool show matches, a team show match. There's a bunch of ideas. I personally, if it was up to me, I'd rather do like a King of the Hill or like Shoutcraft America type thing over Team League right now. Just because I think it's better bang for the buck for what our skills are and what we can put forward. But I love team leagues. Like I actually behind WCS, I probably watched the most Acer Team Story Cup of any other event. Well, besides like giant premier events, like when IM's going on or whatever. No, I mean, I just don't really have the energy. It's like it sounds kind of lame, but it's like typically I have maybe 2 3 hours a day outside of work and sleep, and it's one of those things where you know when I first started working, it's like 2 3 hours a day, absolutely StarCraft. But StarCraft is a game that's incredibly intense, and that's what I love about it. But it's also a game that when you're like tired and you're kind of just like winding down for like an hour, 2 or 3 before you go to sleep, it's hard to play StarCraft. It's easier to just like watch a quick TV show or play a round or two of Hearthstone while you're reading forums or uh, I if I have a day off where I don't have to work that day, yeah, I play StarCraft. Um, but it's hard to just for me at least because I'm so into it and I'm like pretty hardcore about StarCraft. I don't really play that much anymore just because I don't have the I guess mental focus left at the end of the day to really play a game of StarCraft and really appreciate it. For me, it's not like I don't get bored at all. It's just that I like my brain. StarCraft is very brain intensive, and my brain doesn't have the energy. It's like if you take a big math test or whatever, right, or something like that. Then like right after you take the math test, you're probably not going to play StarCraft. It's just you don't have the brain power left, right? And that's kind of where I'm at, after like a long day of work. When I before I had this job and I had other jobs, like just random jobs, I would absolutely I could do like a 10-hour shift and then play a whole bunch of StarCraft. But that's because those jobs weren't as mentally demanding. So I still I might be tired, but it wasn't. My brain was still ready to think and to engage. Sure. Thank you for having me on, man.